Okay, let's call the meeting to order, and the first thing we'll start with is the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, can we have a roll call, please?
Wolf.
Yes.
Ewan.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Here.
Cook.
Here.
Kibble. Here.
Thank you. Okay, on the agenda, looking for a review of any conflict of interest. Is there any conflict of interest that anybody has? Okay, seeing none, we'll ask for approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion by Mr. Cook and seconded by John. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, approval of the minutes, 9/13/2022. I have to say there's one change I have on those. And that is, in the beginning, it says call to order, and you've got the wrong meeting. They had the Planning Commission meeting, and they should be the zoning board. First sentence, call to.
Oh, yeah.
Very last word.
Yeah.
That's kind of a significant one.
Yeah. Okay. And other than that, I had no other changes of those.
I will make a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
Paul, can I abstain since I wasn't here at that meeting?
By all means.
Would it be with the, not as presented, but with the minor correction?
With the correction.
As amended. I'll make a
A
motion.
friendly amendment, I would support that.
As the,
Okay, moved by John and seconded by Lindsay. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Public comment. Now's the time for public comment on anything that is not on the agenda tonight. Okay? And that comment is opening at 6:35, and it looks like we're going to be closing it off at 6:34. So. Correspondence, we will have those. And then that takes us to the business before the Zoning Board of Appeals. This is an appeal 6-22 by Mr. Brad Cole, owner on a parcel of land commonly known as 2500 Main Street, Traverse City. The property identification number is 2803-590-22-00 in the Lakes Areas zoning district. The request requires a variance, section 505, table 1 yard setbacks, specifically an 11-inch front yard setback variance from Main Avenue, and a 7-foot 6-inch front yard setback from South Avenue. Section 505 requires a 20-foot front yard setback. This property has 2 front yards for accessory structures, 20 foot. The request is for a building for an 18 by 18 foot garage. The property currently does not have an existing garage. Okay. Mr. Preston?
Yes, sir. So I'm just going to go through the basic conditions that I reviewed as complete in the staff report. Number 1, that the variance shall not be contrary to public interest or to the intent, purpose of the ordinance. Felt that that was satisfied. The applicant's request to construct a detached garage is not contrary to public interest, and that it will create no discernible negative impact on surrounding property owners. Number 2, that the requested variance shall not permit the establishment within a district of any use which is not permitted by right within that zone district, or any use or dimensional variance for which a special land use permit is required. That is satisfied as a detached garage is a permitted use. The requested, number 3, a requested variance shall not cause a substantial adverse effect upon properties in the immediate vicinity or in the district in which the property of the applicant is located. I found that to be satisfied. The applicant's proposed detached garage is believed to have no discernible negative impact or adverse effects upon properties or surrounding properties, and is by and large consistent with the intent of the zoning ordinance and consistent with surrounding land use. The surrounding properties have reasonable separation distance from the applicant and will not be directly impacted by the proposed garage. Number 4, conditions or situations which necessitate the requested variance is not so general or of such reoccurrent nature as to make the formulation of a general regulation for such conditions reasonably practical. Found that to be satisfied. The variance necessary to build the detached garage is not so general to cause an amendment in the ordinance. Number 5, the requested variance shall relate only to the property that is under control of the applicant. That is satisfied. The specific variance request relates only to the property under control of the applicant owner. Number 6, the requested variance shall not be necessitated by any self-created condition or action taken by the applicant or property owner. Satisfied. The requested variance was not a self-created condition or action taken by the applicant or property owner. The configuration of the existing legal parcel is unique and does not allow space for a garage within the required setbacks. Number 7, there is no reasonable alternative location on the parcel for the proposed improvements for which a variance is sought, where such alternative location would eliminate that need for the requested variance or reduce the extent of the conditions necessitating the variance. Granting this variance would allow the use of the property consistent with other property owners. Satisfied. This is a very unique property, and I think that's an understatement, with extremely limited options for building or expanding. The area proposed by the applicant seems to be the only possible option to construct a detached garage. Not only is the available open area to build very limited, but sloping conditions and mature trees contribute to the limited available space. Of the special conditions, I found that number 2 was, of the 3 were evaluated. Number 1 and number 3 were not evaluated. Number 2, where there are exceptional or extraordinary circumstances or physical conditions such as narrowness, shallowness, shape, or topography of the property involved, or to the intended use of the property that do not generally apply to other property or uses in the same zoning district. I found number 2 to be satisfied. This piece of property is very unique in how it is laid out. The applicants have roads or 2 tracks designed for vehicular traffic on 3 out of 4 sides. The available building space is further limited by mature trees and sloping yard running to the south and to the west. So, Board, my recommendation for variance request 6-22, I find that it meets 7 of the 7 basic conditions and 1 of the special conditions. It is staff's recommendation to approve the variance, as there is no alternative area and the garage could be placed to avoid a variance, The size of the proposed garage would be considered a 1-car garage.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Kroll?
I agree with what he said.
No, you have to come up to the lectern,
I'm
please.
sorry.
Need your name and address.
Bradford Krull, 2500 Main Avenue, Traverse City, Michigan.
Thank you. whatever you want to say.
Oh, well, it's pretty simple. You know, the property I bought 8 years ago, and as you were kind enough to come and see it, it altered, as he said, there is no alternative. I wish there was. I wish I had more land. And it's basically a driveway that's converted into a public easement, so that's confusing. But I wish I could comply with the set-offs, and then the property cuts in from south. South doesn't have the, which is a driveway only I share with the one other neighbor that's only there in the summer. And I think everything I stated in the packet, if there's any questions from any of you on anything?
About this time?
I got a question, and I don't know, this may be a combination, Preston, and for Mr. Brad. When I look up the parcel ID on the Grand Traverse website, and I didn't catch this when I was reviewing it before, but after we were out there, I guess the confusion part, and you mentioned this is a very complicated property. I don't want to make a decision tonight that further complicates an already complicated situation, but it states that your parcel ID that's a part of the application here actually has a couple of other structures on there. Is that right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
When I bought it, it has 2 other one-bedroom cottages that were only summer usage, and I rent them out after putting windows in them and insulating them so they can use year-round.
Okay.
Same as the house I live in, too.
That was the one directly to the south of your house?
Correct.
And then there's a garage in the back?
One right next to it on the,
Okay,
on the west side, too.
okay, all right.
It's like 1/3 of an acre, all packed in, and on a slope, so there really isn't much room for anything there.
Okay. But there is an existing garage there, right? That was the building that we were talking about right before we
Right, that
cut
I
out?
rent out to the place down the hill. because,
Okay.
Even if I were to try to use that in the winter, I'd still have to walk up Icy Hill, which is
Okay,
kind of not conducive to what I'm trying to do here, is have a protective place that's on the same slope, so I can, not slip and slide when I get older, or wheelchair accessibility
okay,
when I get older.
okay.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Unless you want to know more. about-
No, well, what we're going to do is we're going to hear a public comment if there's any, and then we'll be talking around the board, and at that time, we may have further questions of you. Thank you. Okay. All right, is there any public comment, which would be at, let's say, 6:45? Okay. No one? All right. Seeing none, we'll close it at 6:45. Okay, all right. Discussion among the board members.
I have a question. What's the lot percent coverage for that district?
The lot percent coverage, the
Yeah.
impervious surface you're referring to?
Of
or-
structures, or, however East Bay defines that, of total impervious, or if it's structures alone, do you know what the percent coverage of the existing structure plus the additional structure?
So Mr. Kroll did provide me with an impervious surface calculation that is not included in the packet. It was a separate request. It is under the 20%. 20% is what it's required in the Lakes District.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, great. Anything else?
Question about the setback from Main Avenue. It's listed as 11 inches in the packet. Is it actually 11 inches or 11 feet?
So again, because of the uniqueness of this, I had Mr. Kroll have it surveyed, because Main Avenue doesn't run necessarily where it's supposed to. It actually encroaches on his property. So it was surveyed. The survey that I was provided, which is stamped, shows that the distance from where they surveyed the road to be to where the proposed garage would be off from Main Avenue is 19.1 feet. And with it being a 20-foot requirement, that
Oh,
would,
okay.
that would cause an 11-inch variance.
John, anything else?
No, that answers that.
Okay. Matt?
No, did we ever sort out whose jurisdiction or whose ownership are these roads? What are they considered?
They are county roads.
They're county,
Public,
County roads that are not county-maintained.
okay. Okay. Yeah, because it's really strange how they're listed. South Avenue, it just states, it really doesn't say anything, it just says, public, that's it. Normally, there's a little more detail listed on, the road commission or the state or East Bay Township. And then the main avenue out front, which you said was the one that wasn't exactly where it's supposed to be, is listed under some kind of condo association, Main Avenue. It looks like it's private, Shady Crest Resort Condominium, 3T Property Management.
That's different information than I found.
Okay.
Can I answer that?
Yeah,
Come up to the,
Thank you.
What I know, when we were getting Main Avenue paved, we had to check with Pinehurst Association, which Tom, the owner of Shady Crest, now Arbutus Reynolds, had to fulfill. I don't know who he got a hold of or whatever, but he would be the one. But in years past, they had an association for the roads where they would all help out to fix them. And as I stated in the pamphlet, I'm the only one fixing both Main Avenue and Main Street, which kind of run both one up and one down there. And then south too. I was the only one that would do that. And otherwise, South Avenue wouldn't be passable. It would be washed out road. No one could get through.
Sure.
If I hadn't stepped up. And then the other one, Main Street, had muskrats living in it. I mean, it had this deep a pond that was 10 foot by 20 foot right in the road because the owner had landscaped it so all the water drained in the road, and then also the highway, all the water drains down to there too. So
okay.
it's a mess road-wise, and I stepped up to make them at least workable. But the association, I've never heard from, but there is the Pinehurst Road Association that we had to get a okay from before we could pave that at a cost to ourselves. That was probably 7 years ago.
Okay.
Matt, even if it wasn't county and it was private, it would still be the same.
Setbacks would still apply?
Yes, sir.
Even to a private? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yep.
all right.
Yep.
But it's got a strange history too.
Sure, yeah.
I don't really fully understand that either. That's about all I know, and there is to be known about that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think, at least from my standpoint, I don't think the garage and the setbacks, and the variance of the setbacks, pretty straightforward. It's the application of, where this is going and some of the confusing things around property lines, so, okay.
Don?
Nothing, Rod? Okay.
Okay. So, it's back to us. So, any thoughts, other thoughts, recommendations, motions, et cetera?
Well, I would make a motion that all 7 of the basic conditions are met for this variance, and number 2 of the special conditions is met. So I would make a motion that the variance be approved based on that.
Okay. Is there a second?
Yeah, I'll support.
Okay, John has made the motion to approve the variance based upon the conditions and the staff evaluation of the property. Matt's is seconding in support. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good, thank you. That's, you've got a garage. Congratulations.
Straightforward.
Okay. All right. No other business. We'll go to reports, first from the Township Board.
Oh, so the board has been rather busy here lately. Couple of key topics. We've got as of last night, we've got a new alternate, and I'm sorry, I can't remember the name, on the ZBA.
Trenton?
Come on up and introduce yourself.
Yeah. Come on up to the lectern. Trenton?
I'm Trenton Lee, moved here into East Bay Township, but I was born and raised in Traverse City. So, nice to be a homeowner in this area now.
Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. It's great.
So yeah, we approved Trenton as a ZBA alternate on the board. We had quite a bit of activity over the past couple of months. I didn't come to the last meeting, so I didn't give you a report, but you probably have seen a lot of conversation in the news about GoRec. GoRec was a pretty hot topic issue for a number of months, and we didn't necessarily come to resolution on the board. It was tabled after we got out at about 12:30 in the September meeting, and subsequent to that, GoRec pulled their application. So that is essentially going away, at least as a topic for the board for now. We believe in September as well, August and September, there was a number of meetings, special meetings that were called related to some water issues at a condominiums off Hammond Road. Long and short of it is that they had an existing well that had failed, and per the ordinance and combination of the ordinance and the Grand Traverse County Health Department, they were not allowed to drill a new well because they had access to township water, and worked through that through a number of meetings, but essentially they funded the water fix with a special assessment district that was levied against the property owners there. And we got an update last night from the county DPW that they have gotten their water connected, I think, as of last week. So they're real pleased with that. They went without water for about 60 days to get that fixed. Well, I know Preston's very familiar with it, but Preston and Claire are heading up a zoning ordinance rewrite. I think in August, I believe, we selected a firm to kind of lead that, and kind of expecting some really good results out of that. So hopefully that's been positive so far with you.
Yep.
Yeah, we've been, kind of getting teed up to have some budget conversations. I think next month, well, actually, no, this month, later this month, going to have a budget meeting, and going to have some more issues to discuss next month. But that's kind of the skinny on the board update.
Thank you. Thank you. For the Planning Commission, the last meeting, we had a number of different topics. One was the property at the Hobart Brothers property in the industrial area. They wanted to expand out their facility, and that was approved. A couple of other things was a sketch plan discussion with a Hammond Hills proposed project, and again, it was just a discussion. Nothing actually was taking place. They're going to go back and put in all the comments that were made and see what they can come up with again. Also was discussion on the Holiday Hills Forest 2 project, and we're still in that procedure, and there was no action taken. And then finally, there was a request for rezoning on Munson Avenue, and I believe that they had set a public hearing for that. So those were the 4 items that were in front of the Planning Commission. One other note, though, with respect to the new ordinance that's in the process, or at least the rewrite of the ordinances, there is a, for the public out there, there is a survey, online survey that people can fill out and send in their comments with respect to any ideas they have on the ordinances, a number of questions that they ask you. And if you're going to do it, please do it soon, because I believe it has to be in by the October 12th, which is, 2 days from now. So just go on the onto the East Bay website, and you can be directed to that ordinance survey. And that's all I have right now. Okay, second opportunity for public comment on any topic at all. And that is beginning at, again, 7:55, 56 make that, and seeing none, we'll close it at 7:56. Okay. Upcoming meeting will be on November 9th, 2022. And with that, we're adjourned.
Can I say, I'm sorry, real
Yes, sir.
quick. For the board, December, that is going to be, TC Water Sports will be coming before the ZBA again. That will be quite a large packet and a lot of information to digest, and I will do my best to get that to you. My desire would be 2 weeks prior to the meeting. But that's all that's slated for December. In November, there's only one item slated for that.
Can you refresh me, what was their previous request, or when was that?
When was it?
Yeah.
Well, it was nearly, this is a year in the making, and it was ruled that, that they are not an accessory use, and it was appealed in front of Judge Elsenheimer.
Okay.
Who then wanted it back in front of the board.
Okay, I remember this now, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
I would suspect that the township attorney will be here to filter through some of the packet for us, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
When the packets are sent out, that's to everybody, including our alternates?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Any other comments? Okay, seeing none, we're adjourned.